Hey you guys, I've been wanting to do a video just kind of showcasing our journey with Chase from the time that we noticed there was something different about him until now. Just for other parents out there that have kids with that just seem a little bit different and aren't really sure what to expect, and if they are diagnosed with autism, kind of what to expect. And I mean, everyone's obviously different. Everyone's journey is different, but I can just share my experiences with how how our life has been with Chase. So I just want to preface this by saying that I have 5 kids. 3 of them are adults now. I have a son, a daughter, and a son, and then I've got Chase, and then his little sister, Piper. So that said, we first noticed Chase was different, probably right around the age of maybe 2, maybe not quite, but we noticed that he didn't have a lot of words in his vocabulary. So we took him to the pediatrician, and they said, well, let's send him to a speech therapist and see what they have to say. So we did that, and speech therapist said, yeah, he should have about 200 words. He's got about 50. So we're like, okay, yeah, something's up. The other thing that kind of really tipped me off, and that's why I kind of told you about the older siblings, is that when my oldest daughter was born, my son, who was her big brother, absolutely adored her. He doted on her. He couldn't get enough of her. He just wanted to be with her all the time. And just loved her to pieces, and really showed it. When Piper was born, Chase didn't really show a lot of interest. He kind of couldn't really care less that she was around, and he was curious a little bit, but nothing major, and it was just way different. And I realized different kids are going to react differently to siblings and things like that, but it was a huge flag to me that something was different. So the pediatrician said, we can get him tested for autism, and it is a lengthy process, but if you want to do that, we can start the paperwork. And we said, absolutely, we want to. So fast forward to November 2015, Chase had his assessment at the Glen Rose, a 3-day assessment. And at the end of it, he was diagnosed with autism. And I remember sitting there talking to the doctor, and Chase was sitting on the ground playing with toys. And the doctor said, we had been talking for a little bit, and he said, you notice that Chase really probably couldn't care less that we were even in the room, and didn't really pay any attention to us. And he was more interested in the things than he was in the people around him. And he said that's his autism. It's coming out, and it's kind of what we're dealing with. And he recommended that we get Chase into a more stable social setting. So we were able to get him into preschool by January. So by the time he was 3 years old, he started preschool, and he was working with, he had an aide, and he was working with a speech therapist, an occupational therapist, and I believe a physical therapist as well. So for 3 years he had funding from the government for, so it didn't cost us anything for preschool or the aide or the therapist and everything like that. So we did that, and he actually was in preschool for 2.5 years. Until he started kindergarten, just because he was so young. He did the 3-year program, and for the half year, and then the 3-year full year program, and then the 4-year-old program per year. Anyway, since then, every year we've been lucky enough, even after the funding ended, schools get funded for EAs and things like that if there is a need for them, and there's always been a need for Chase to have an EA. He's a bit of a flight risk, so that was the biggest thing. He's very, very smart. He has an extremely incredible memory. In fact, like if he tells you that he went to Galaxyland at West Edmonton Mall on July 3rd, 2020, then he probably did, because his memory is just unbelievable. I guess like Rain Man. So that's the thing about Chase. The other thing about Chase is that he's very, very, very affectionate, and always has been. That's not really a typical trait of autism. A lot of times I think what happens is they don't want people to touch them, but he loves snuggles, he loves being tickled, he just loves all of that stuff. So we've never had any problems in that respect. He does get fixated on things. There was a time when he was obsessed with looking up flags, and so he knows like flags from pretty much every country in the world. There's 100 and some countries, and he knows all the flags, and can draw them. At one point he was interested in languages, so he was learning different languages and alphabets, and he does this all on his own on his iPad. So now he's been into watching a lot of videos, and of course some of the videos that you can probably tell that have been uploaded onto the channel, he has uploaded them himself. In fact, I've had to take down some of the videos just because, autism aside, he is an almost 11-year-old boy, and he has been watching stuff that's not appropriate, and learning language that's not appropriate. So there's been a couple of times that I've had to take down videos just because he uploaded them without my knowledge, and I had to take them down. But otherwise, he's a wonderful kid. The biggest hurdle, I guess, we really had that was weighing on us for years was toileting. He had no problems going pee in the toilet, no problem whatsoever. But it would come to pooping in the toilet, that was a different story. In fact, from the time he was out of diapers, he was in pull-ups, and that just ended probably in September of this year. So it's been a challenge, but thankfully he is finally going poop on the toilet consistently. So I mean, it doesn't help that the only thing he really drinks other than water is chocolate milk. So we finally just got him drinking water in the last couple of years, really. So probably milk's not the best thing for the digestive system. Anyways, so I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about Chase, and being his mom has been just an incredible journey, and I just love him to pieces, and we couldn't be more proud or more amazed at things that he says, things that he does. Every day it's something new, and that's kind of why I started the channel, is just to showcase all the little Chaseisms that we get to enjoy. So I'd like other people to enjoy it as well. So so that's about it. If you have anything you want to say, anything you want to ask, if you have kids that are on the spectrum and you want to ask if we've experienced it, by all means leave a comment and I'll respond. Or if you just have a comment on the video, go ahead and comment and I'll respond to that as well. So and just I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you. Bye.